Hi friends, and welcome back to Belle's Books. I am so happy to have you here. Thank you for clicking on my video. If you are already subscribed, then thank you for being a subscriber. And if you are not subscribed, then please do hit the subscribe button because I would love to have you here to watch all of my videos in the future. So today I'm going to be talking about Unsettled Ground by Claire Fuller. And this is the book that we read for Belle's Book Club, which we had our first meeting on the weekend at Sunday, which was just incredible. We had so much fantastic book chat and it was just so great to meet some of you guys. So if you're interested in joining Belle's Book Club, the link is in the description box down below. I would absolutely love to have you. We meet once a month on Zoom and we chat about the book that we are reading that month. Also, if you join the book club, you are every single month entered into a lottery or a prize draw to win a hard copy of the book that we are reading that month. So yeah, go ahead and give that a click and I will dive into the video. So I'll kick off with a bit of a synopsis. Unsettled Ground is about twins, Jeannie and Julius, who have always lived with their mother and who basically live in rural poverty in the middle of the countryside in England. And this is despite the book being set in the 21st century in modern day, so they have nothing to do with modernity at all. They barely have a phone between them and they barely have electricity and other basic modern amenities. And then one day their mother, who they live with, Dot, dies, and with her death their lives are turned completely upside down because she had all kinds of secrets and lies that she was keeping from them or lying to them about, and she's basically been treating them like children their whole lives despite the fact that they are in their 50s and are adults. So after her death they lose everything and they have to recover from this. So I recommend this book to any reader who likes character-driven stories. It of course has a plot, but the focus is very much character development rather than plot or action. And I wouldn't recommend it to anyone who's looking for something uplifting or happy or hopeful, because this book is sad, it's unsettling, and it's just a bit depressing, honestly. So I don't think there are any trigger warnings for this book that I remember. The topics that are kind of discussed most are kind of death, poverty, and maybe disability. But I don't know if those are trigger warnings or just kind of sad topics within the novel. I think that's more for you to decide for yourself. So moving on to my rating and thoughts. I rated this book a 4 stars, and I will describe why it wasn't quite a 5-star read for me, but it is so good that I think it is worthy of the 4-star rating. So first off, the plot is quite slow moving, which isn't a bad thing, and I think it reflects reality and works really well for a piece of realistic fiction. Often realistic fiction can feel rushed or accelerated, but the way that Claire Fuller really draws the story out, focusing on the reader's understanding of the characters rather than feeling a need to rush to the end, is kind of an ideal balance in my opinion. So despite the plot moving slowly, there is an excellent plot still, and there are all kinds of revelations worked into it which aren't necessarily shocking or surprising to the reader. You're kind of able to figure them out first, but are so shocking to the characters. And I think that the way that Fuller writes allows you to enjoy and appreciate and understand the shock and the surprise of the characters without being disappointed that you weren't shocked yourself. I don't think that the point of the novel was to be surprised by these big secrets, and like a big complaint of some readers is that they haven't been surprised by them, but I think that the point was probably more to illustrate that everybody can guess and should be able to guess, and it's only really Jeannie and Jamie who have been left behind and are so surprised. I won't kind of give you any more details than that because I don't want to spoil it for you, but yeah, that's just my thoughts. So I think the thing that I was most surprised about as I read this novel was how old the twins were. So when the book first starts, I thought they were like in their 20s or kind of late teens. And it was only a few chapters in when I realized that they were in their late 40s, 50s. And that was when it really hit me home, like, okay, this is not normal, this is not okay, where is the book going? So yeah, so to chat now about the ending, I said before it wasn't very hopeful, and I don't think it is hopeful. The ending is all about regret, or maybe like inevitability, or kind of a combination of those two ideas. The idea that life could have been better for these characters, and there are all these little hints about their destinies and skills and abilities which are never fully realized and are never fulfilled. That's just so heartbreaking for me to read about, and I think that if you have read this novel or when you do read it, you will probably feel kind of that same sense of regret and neglect that kind of permeates and culminates at the end. And the final thing I loved about this novel was the luxurious description that kind of immerses you in the landscapes and the locations and makes it very easy for you to imagine their world. So I hope you've enjoyed my rating and my thoughts. Before I go, I have 3 further reading recommendations for you. So these are books that I think that you will like if you have already read Unsettled Ground. So the first book is Your House Will Pay by Steph Cha. And this book is about racial tension in LA, and it's about one Korean American family and one African American family, both of whom are struggling to live their lives because they've been affected by the consequences of a crime which happened years ago. So it covers Grace, who doesn't quite understand her family's feud and family's secret, and Sean, whose cousin was just released from prison. Then we have The Husband's Secret by Liane Moriarty, and this is about a woman who finds a letter labeled to be opened after my death from her husband before he's died. And so she opens it curious and her life completely changes. She learns a secret which changes her life as well as the lives of so many other people she is close to in her community. And it kind of plays with this idea, how well do we really know anyone, even the people we spend our entire lives with? And then finally, The Glass Castle by Jeanette Wells. And I do have to give this one a trigger warning because it does talk about sexual assault and alcoholism quite a lot. But it's a memoir about Wells's life and how she kind of lived a nomadic, impoverished childhood with her family, her alcoholic father, and neglectful parents, and what she and her siblings did to survive before they managed to break out of this and go and live their own lives. So yeah, that's everything from me today about Unsettled Ground by Claire Fuller. I really hope you enjoyed this review, and let me know in the comments down below if you're going to read this book. If you have read it, what you thought of it. I would just absolutely love to hear from you. Before I go, I also wanted to remind you one last time that you can join Belle's Book Club. The link is in the description box down below, and you can join and come to our Zoom monthly book club meetings, and also vote on the book that we read every single month, and also be entered into a lottery to see if you will win this month's book club read. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. Bye!